So what you guys think?
Be quiet now.
How y'all quiet? That's a lot of hard work. Don't get quiet, don't get quiet.
Don't run at work. Stand in front of the colors. Looking special. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Well, we want you to take something away from the PSAs, not just it was funny or it was whatever, but to enlighten you with some updated information, because a lot of the information in the videos came from 2008. So we wanted to give you some local updated stats for Lancaster, Chester, and York counties, the counties that we serve.
So again, just be aware that just because you see some other things in other documents that, it could possibly be incorrect information. So just make sure that you're up to par and know where to go to get those resources.
All right. And we know that we threw a lot of information at you guys this evening, so we still want to take questions. If anybody has questions at this time. Come on now. We don't have any more prizes, but you can ask a question. Ain't nobody gonna ask a question? All right, thank you, because I was about to start singing or something,
Is HIV more common in men or women?
That's a good question. Right now, HIV is more prevalent in African American women.
Some people didn't hear.
Oh.
Is HIV more common in men or women?
It's more common in women, and the reason being that women's bodies are made to receive fluids. Women are 8 times more likely to contract HIV from a male than a male is to get it from a female. I had a question in the back with the green jacket. Yes, ma'am. Make sure you speak loud.
What inspired both of you to become advocates for HIV awareness?
Good question. Well, with me, I started with Catawba Care in 2006. And before I started with Catawba Care, I was, just to say, ignorant about HIV. I was ignorant about AIDS. I was ignorant about how that impacted the community. But once I found out about how many people were becoming infected, how people were dying because they didn't have access to medications, how people were becoming infected and they did not have to contract HIV in the first place. Because when you know your status, you can protect your status, whether it be HIV positive or negative. Now I feel like it's my job to tell people about, hey, you can get tested, you can get condoms here at this agency, and we're here to educate you, and if there's programs that you need that we can offer to you guys, let us know. That's why we're here in the community. And plus, after I started learning about the disease and the virus, I found out some of my family members were infected with it as well. And they were afraid to say anything about it because of the ignorance and the stigma that's out there.
I concur. Any more questions?
We got one back here.
Where?
Back here.
Okay, hand up.
I see your hand.
If you're committed to one person only, do you still suggest that you get tested anyway?
Okay, listen up.
That's not a dumb question. That's not a dumb question. Because we always tell people to practice abstinence, always be faithful, and always use condoms. We always encourage people to get tested, no matter if they are with the same partner or have been with the same partner for a number of years. Because you know what you do on a 24/7 basis, but you don't know what your partner is doing on a 24/7 basis. You know, so you gotta take care of yourself. Put yourself first, love yourself first, and take the test. Amen.
I just want to clarify one thing about the men and women ratio that this young man asked. Women have a high risk of HIV, but actually men are more prevalent at getting HIV. Just kind of clear that up because of those multiple partners. Okay? So just remember that. Keep that in mind. Men are more at risk of getting HIV than women because they have more partners. Okay?
There are higher rates of men who are infected with HIV. Thank you, Ms. Massey. But what Ms. Massey was talking about is that women are at a greater risk of being infected by their male partners. Men are at higher rates because men are getting infected by other men, but then women are getting infected by men as well. And so it's kind of a trickle down. Anybody can get infected by anyone, so I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying that that's why those rates are higher. It's come down in those ways.
Everybody understand that? Is that clear?
Clear as mud.
I don't know if you want to say something or not, but what he wanted us to also bring to the Department of Health also wants us to make sure that you're aware of other STDs that can make you susceptible to HIV. So it's important to get tested not only for HIV but for other STDs as well. Question in the back?
Yes. Do you happen to know offhand about the medication that was mentioned that they've actually been working on for treating HIV?
Well, there's several medications that are already out there. So it's just dependent upon the person that they have, what type of care they're in, what the doctor prescribes for them. I got a question.
Were you referring to the
It's a
study
new
that just
medication,
came
new
out?
study.
Okay. There was a study done on one of the HIV medicines that they looked at giving people the medicine before they were infected with HIV, people that were at high risk for being infected, to see if that reduced the rates. And what they found was it did reduce the rates, but it's not foolproof. So it's not an excuse to not use protection or not abstain or not be in a monogamous relationship. But it's a direction that they're going in to say we might have some ways to curb some of the epidemic. But what they found was it reduced the rates of infection about 44% for people who were taking it. But it's expensive. The medicine's expensive. You got to get a prescription to get it. You got to have insurance to cover it, all that stuff. So it's not the answer, and we don't want people to stop using protection or to go out and think that they're going to be immune, because it still happens. And I think what Lou said earlier, it's important to remember, if you're having unprotected sex, you're at risk for HIV, you're at risk for other STDs.
We have a question at the top there.
Just out of like curiosity, how was AIDS like created and or like how did it form?
Go back up there, Monica. Go back up there, Monica.
That's one of the things that we kind of don't go there because
Yeah, it's a lot of myths
Yeah.
around the information. Yeah.
right. Yeah, we can have a one-on-one conversation about it, but it's mostly theories, so we don't get stuck on that. All right.
Why I say go back up there, Monica?
One more question. Undine, stand up.
It's one of my case managers.
You already know the answer to that question. Why are you asking me? There is no date of death stamped on the bottom of your foot just because you get an HIV diagnosis. I can't think of any other way to answer it better than that. I mean, people that take their medications and go to their medical appointments and make sure that they're healthy and they adhere to their medications, they can expect to live a long time with the medications. There's no state expiration. Did I do that? Thank you.
All right, good. All right. Let's give everybody hands without those questions.